Good morning, Unity on the Bay. I think you guys are out of practice. Vamos a hacer eso de nuevo. Good morning, Unity on the Bay. Yes, I love that. Welcome to Unity on the Bay, a positive path for spiritual living. If you're watching us online, we encourage you to interact with us in the comment section right down below. If you're watching us on YouTube, please subscribe, hit the bell, and if Facebook is more your speed, then like our page and follow us to get notified every single time that we go live. While we're gathering here, our Youth of Unity is having their own time of inspiration and learning in our Kids Zone. If you want to learn more about that, go to the Family tab on our website, unityonthebay.org. I'd also like to give a big, warm, sanitized air hug to all the people in the room here. Hi! I know that it sounds like there's a lot of people here. There is probably 9 people in here. But in Unity, we always sound louder than we are. Right, Unity? You see. So a couple of things that I want to let you know about. So what are you doing on Christmas Eve? I'm going to be right here for Unity's Christmas Eve service on December 24th. You can either register to join us in person or you can watch us on Facebook and YouTube and on our YouTube channel. Services are at 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. This will be a beautiful candlelight service with festive live music by our own choir and band. And then on December 31st, join us again for our Burning Bowl ceremony. It is a perfect way for you to get ready for 2021. And who else is ready for 2021? Yes, yes, yes. So set those intentions and then release what you want to let go of 2020. I'm sure you have a big list like I do. Burning Bowl is also in person and online at 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. on the 31st. Registration is also required if you want to attend in person, so go to our website for all the information right there, unityonthebay.org. So this is one of my favorite ceremonies. If you can't make either of these holiday events, don't worry. The first Sunday of January is our White Stone ceremony. Has anybody done the White Stone ceremony? Yeah? Okay, love the White Stone ceremony. So through meditation, we'll guide you into a process of calling forth your special word for 2021, which you'll write on this white stone and take with you. Like I've got my white stones from the last couple of years, and you'd be surprised at what comes up. It's a very, very, very cool ceremony. This is a great way to set your intention for 2021. Again, join us in person by registering online or watching us on Facebook and YouTube. Now, take a moment right now to really take this in. You are part of a community that has helped over 1,000 families this year with free groceries. How does that feel? How does that feel? So what do I mean by this? When you've made a donation or tithes to Unity on the Bay, we've turned around and donated money to FarmShare. And FarmShare is a Florida nonprofit that provides healthy groceries to those in need. So just yesterday, this past Saturday, we held our second distribution right here outside of Temple Israel in the parking lot. You got to head on over to Facebook and to Instagram to see all the pictures. We had such a wonderful time, and we fed a bunch of families in need. And for the people in-house, you know, we still have some available if you'd like to bring to somebody, to a family that you know in your neighborhood in need as well, okay? But also get on over to Facebook and Instagram so you can see all the pictures of how much fun we had while doing service. You know, it's all about doing service. And now, without any further ado, here's Reverend Juan.
That we put on every day. So welcome. Thank you so much for being a part of our Sunday experience this morning. It's such a beautiful thing that we can be in community together. So I'm going to invite those that are here for the first time, connecting with us for the first or second time, to text NEW to 305-573-9191. And if you have seen me or heard me before, you know that I really believe that the reasons why we have come together, we have gathered as a spiritual community is because something within us knows that our mission, our vision, our core values are already within us. They are the ways in which we are also showing up individually in the world. So I'm going to invite you to speak our mission and vision with me and to know that this is what is really moving Unity on the Bay out into the world like Faye was just mentioning earlier. So together, We are an inclusive community serving as a catalyst for spiritual awakening, evolution, and action. And our vision, humanity inspired to its divinity. With that, let us just go into this moment and really center ourselves, recognizing that the very presence of God is with us. And so let us pray into this energy. Let us pray into this awareness, knowing that this presence is a presence of light and love and peace. It is a presence of joy, and that we feel it throughout our being, and it expresses through our thinking, through our feelings, through our actions. And so today we are centered in the awareness that we truly believe that the very activity of God moves through and as us. We truly believe that we are all one. We believe that the Christ light is our own light. We believe that God, love, all that is good is alive within each and every one. We believe that this holiday season, our belief is in God, is in all that is true. I believe. Say that with me. I believe.
'In a land far away, time stood still long ago. There were shepherds in fields, or at least this is how the story goes. The story goes.
Woman with child and an inn with no room, born in a manger, foretelling a tomb. This is how story goes.
But it's more than a fable,
And it's more than a fairy tale.
and more than my mind can conceive.
I believe the wise men saw a baby boy the angels called the Son of God.
Heaven's child, the great I am, born to bring the love of God to all the land. Emmanuel
Has come. I believe.
2,000 years and still the story lives on. God's gift to us and to earth, wrapped in flesh, His only Son, His only Son.
And the heartbeat of heaven, confounded on wisdom, still simple truth sets me free. I believe, the wise men
The wise men saw the baby boy,
the angels called the Son He came for all. Heaven's child became a man, gave his love to me because of who I am. I believe. I believe. Oh, I believe.
Christmas lives in me. I believe.
We believe, and so it is. Amen.
Beautiful. That was beautiful. Myra, Dale, your voices should get married.
I think we got married a long time ago, actually.
It's like, right? Like, it's like their voices together kind of, they just fill me. Like, it's Christmas once I hear these two do a Christmas song. So thank you so much for sharing your talents with us. Thank you, George. Thank you, Anthony. You guys are just incredible. It is now time for our daily word. So our daily word today is being read by Angelica Cookson. And Angelica is a beautiful, beautiful congregant. She's also part of our Unity on the Bay's music ministry. Angelica always shows up with a smile, and you can feel it even through her mask. So please give Angelica a nice, warm welcome.
Good morning. The daily word for today is joy. Joy dawns in my grateful heart. Joy to the world. The carol echoes the joyous message proclaimed the Messiah's birth. Today I feel this same triumphant joy awakening in me. I may have endured a long and cumbersome journey on the way to discover the joy that is alive in me, the truth of me as a spiritual being. I may have spent years denying my spiritual identity, thinking that fulfillment, wholeness, and abundance were for others and not for me. Now, as I've made the Advent journey, I have kindled my faith, felt the tranquility and comfort of space, and received the soothing touch of deep and abiding love. Those gifts have led me to understand with deep gratitude that joy is mine to know, to feel, and to live. But the angel said to them, "Do not be afraid, for see, I am bringing you good news of great joy for all the people." Luke 2:10. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Angelica. At this time, as we prepare for a time of guided meditation led by Reverend Juan, I want to remind you that if you have any prayer intentions at all, send them our way. There are no prayer intentions too little or too big. Send them our way. For all of you watching at home, in the comment section, all the information that you need to send your prayer intention our way is right there. Our prayer chaplains answer each and every prayer intention sent our way. So now let us ease into a time of guided meditation with the song by Myra, Dale, Anthony, and George.
To the power within, deep inside it's always been. With God's love I learn to forgive. Grace and mercy fill me with a light so divine. I know I am free. God has given me everything. Peace, love,
So let us move into this space of awareness, allowing ourselves to really rest in this experience. Let's take a deep breath. This is a holy, sacred moment. If you haven't done so already, gently close your eyes. Give yourself into this experience and allow all that God is to hold you, to support you, to love on you. And so just take a moment to feel the support of your chair, wherever you may be sitting, to feel yourself planted firmly here, now, more and more aware of the ways in which this presence that is God is alive around you and within you. As you take another breath, you move further within to that place within you that knows that you know that you know you and God are one. And so as we are celebrating this Advent season, this advent of a new way of being, the advent of a deepened awareness of our truth, we know that we are the expression of faith and hope. Get a sense of how hope feels within you. We also know and recognize that peace is here. Peace. Peace. And as we allow ourselves to move deeper into this experience, deeper into this awareness of the ways in which we are one. One with God, one with our own divinity, one with all humanity. We experience love. And so feel love. Know love deeply. As we embody these things, faith, peace, love, we recognize that the very light of God is within us and as us, and that brings a sense of joy to this experience. And so tap into joy, call joy forth, affirm joy. All these things we are, through the power, through the strength, through the courage that we find within this Christ essence, this Christ essence that we are, this Christ essence that we express and live into. Taking another breath. We allow ourselves to recognize this Christ light within us as we move into just a few moments here and now in the silence. You are the light of the world. We are the light of Christ in the world. We are light. And our whole being recognizes this truth this morning. And we feel a sense of gratitude that we have come to understand our truth more deeply. We feel a sense of gratitude for coming together in this awareness. And we feel gratitude growing within us, that as we each accept our light, we shine so brightly, and together our light touches the whole world. We are so blessed, and we are such a great blessing. So it is as we let it be. Thank you, God. Amen and amen.
The world waits for a miracle. The heart longs for a little bit of hope. Come down, oh come down, Emmanuel. A child prays for peace on earth, and she's calling out from a sea of hurt. Come down, oh come down, Emmanuel. And can you hear the angels singing glory to the light of the world, glory to the light of the world, He is here. Drought breaks with the tears of a mother. The baby's cry is the sound of love. Come down, oh come down, Emmanuel. Oh, He is the song for the suffering. He is Messiah, the Prince of Peace has come. He has come, Emmanuel. Glory to the light of the world. heart longs for a little bit of hope. Oh come, Emmanuel. Praise. Thank you.
Thank you to our awesome music ministry, and Merry Christmas. I just realized I forgot to say that at the beginning. Merry Christmas. It almost snuck up on me, maybe that's what it is. But what a great thing that we can experience the holidays together. And I know maybe looking a little different, and yet still being able to center ourselves in what this holiday is really about. And so I just give thanks that we have been able to come together to remember that. And as we have been moving through Advent, we've really celebrated faith and hope and the way in which that shows up in our lives and has been showing up in great ways within our lives. We have centered ourselves on peace and remembering and recognizing that peace can take place in the midst of whatever may be going on in our lives. And we have really centered ourselves in love, really feeling into our connections, especially now knowing that our connections may even not be about physicality, but just a feeling, a knowing that is within us. And now we are centering ourselves in joy. Joy. And I think that is really just the way in which sort of things just happen, because in the moments that we can be in faith and in trust and in hope of that God that is within us, the moments that we can have peace and recognize the love that is around us, it just happens, right? We just feel that joy. And so I'm going to invite us to recognize that there is a deep sense and a deep wellspring of joy that is within us, and that it is flowing through us and expressing out into the world. Now, joy, as we may be learning even more so these days than in the past, joy can take place in the midst of chaos. Have you experienced that? Like it's seeming chaos around us, right? Doesn't necessarily define the ways in which we feel these things. And last week, Reverend Chris shared with you about the journey to Bethlehem. And he spoke briefly about really being focused on that Christmas star, inviting us to really be focused on the light that truly is, regardless of the circumstances. And I think that that's what Christmas is for me this year. To really recognize that even when there is chaos around me, I can be in the light. Actually, that in the midst of the chaos, I can be the light. And so, yeah, things may be chaotic. Things may be different this year. Maybe not for everybody, but for some, for most likely. And it has been a year of challenge and a year of struggle. But most awakening happens in the midst of that. Most of the great shifts going on in our lives, if we really look back on our lives, had some sense of chaos as they were happening. And even as we're celebrating Christmas, it makes me realize that actually miracles take place in the midst of chaos. Right? Because as Reverend Chris mentioned last week, that journey to Bethlehem was chaotic. There was a lot of difficulty in that process, and yet through that, through all the difficulties, through the struggles that were taking place in that journey, the greatest living example of how we can step into our own divinity showed up in the world. Jesus was born in the midst of chaos, and Jesus reminds us, because he is not the great exception, but the great example, that we can live in that same way, that we can experience life as a miracle, that we can allow our own divinity and our own light to shine regardless of what is going on around us. Actually, not only that, but we and our light is the answer to the things that are going on around us. We are the ways in which God's light, our own divinity, is able to express and bring a greater sense of peace and joy and love to all of humanity. And so really, and if, I've been sharing about the fact that I've just been really into signs lately. And I feel like there are just so many signs that are all around us. It's almost like this year, like all these things are popping up to say, like, look over here. There's something to learn here. There is something important happening here. And so I'm really fascinated in the fact that here we are in probably one of the most different holiday seasons that many of us have experienced, and we're about to experience light in a way that we have never experienced in our lifetime. How many of you have heard about what they're calling the Christmas star? Right? Like, so in the midst of everything that is going on in this funny year of 2020, there is a phenomenon that is going to be taking place tomorrow, actually, as part of the around the winter solstice. And this phenomenon is being called the Christmas star. And they say, astronomers and scientists, that it hasn't happened like this in over 800 years. Actually, scientists and astronomers think that it's this kind of phenomenon that really called the wise men and the shepherds and all those people to come to that manger to experience the birth of Jesus. And so this phenomena is basically the planets Jupiter and Saturn coming together as close together as they've been in 800 years. And this phenomena is going to be basically this bright light taking place tomorrow. This is the conjunction of these two planets. And for me, it's really interesting because, first of all, they're coming together, and through our perspective is how they're really coming, because they're going to be miles and miles and eons apart. But through our perspective, we can see this coming together. And so I asked myself, if this is taking place in the winter solstice, which is really the longest night, right, in the year, what does it mean for me? What does it mean for me? And so for me, I sit with, well, in the midst of the darkness, right, like, these our two biggest planets are coming together. And I think about what are the two biggest aspects of who I am. For me, it's my humanity and my divinity. And so they're coming together. And what does it mean if I recognize this as an opportunity to bring those two things together in this holy, sacred relationship? Because for me, I really believe that for our light to shine like that Christmas star, we have to bring them together, right? Because for me, the divinity is the container of that light, but my humanity is the way in which I allow it to express. Both of those things are so important for us to be able to own, to embody, and to share the light that we are. Our light shines through both. Now, the first thing we have to do, I think, and this is an ongoing process for me, is to really own and know that the light of God is within me. And I know we speak about it a lot, right? That it's within us. But we really have to own it. And it's just this process of really coming to terms with the truth of our being. And I was looking this morning for a particular quote from Charles Fillmore that just kind of popped up into my mind about just really knowing that it is the light of God that is within us. Well, sorry, guys, but I wasn't able to find the quote. But in the process, I found this story. In one of his sermons, he shared that at Unity Village, they were in an office, and they were trying to get a fan working. And there was a bunch of people trying to just get this one fan working. And they were hitting all the buttons, and nothing would turn on. They looked to see if it was plugged in, and it was plugged in. So, they were really just wondering what is going on. And then, all of a sudden, in an instant, somebody just walked over and said, well, it's connected, but nobody flipped the switch. And they flipped the switch, and there it was. It was working. And in my mind, as I read that story, we're always connected to the light that God is, right? We're always connected to that current that God is and that energy that God is. And we have to consciously flip the switch to be able to experience it in a way that we can understand it. We have to flip the switch in a way that will allow that light to shine through us, that electricity, that energy to move from within us into our experiences. And so it reminded me that this light of God that is within us is what we must turn to, especially in these moments. Eric Butterworth in The Flow of Life says, light is the reality of God within all creation. It is the reality of our own potential. All overcoming, all healing, all expansion is the inevitable effect of the dawning of light within and its effusion into our light. And so that potential, that light has been shining brightly within us, whether we have realized it or not, because as I've told you before, we're here. We've survived it, right? Like this year, 2020, that's basically become a meme. Whenever anything takes place now, it's like, oh, it's 2020. Well, listen then, after all those memes, after all those things, after the unrest, after the discussions, after the issues that we have faced this year, here we are at the end of 2020, and we have survived it. So that light has been shining through us, and maybe it's an opportunity for us to now ask, how can it shine even more fully? And how can we allow it then to really support us into moving into the next year with a deepened sense of our truth, with a deepened sense of who we have come here to be, to really embody that which we already know, because we know. We've lived it, we've survived it, we've experienced it. And so how can we just own it more so? And so here in the darkest day of the year, we are now moving, right? The winter solstice is when it's the darkest day, but after that, the sun begins to shine more and more. The light begins to flow more and more. Can we maybe be in our winter solstice and say today is the day that we allow more light to flow from the core of who we are, from the core of our being? And so, yeah, this thing, right, this Christmas star is taking place, and it's in alignment with all these other signs that are really saying it's not only going to be all right, but something beautiful is emerging. Something amazing is going to be birthed in this moment. Right? Like the birth of Jesus in that manger that we celebrate during Christmas is happening moment by moment. We are being reborn into our own light and into our Christhood. Now, Marianne Williamson, I love this quote. She reminds us that our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, to be gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. And so are we done being frightened by our own light? I know I am. I'm done with being scared of just how worthy and sacred I am. And so this holiday season is an opportunity for me to really just get in touch with anything that I have allowed to turn off that switch, to not let the current, not let the light flow as much as I would like in my life, and be able to release it, be liberated by it. And here's another sign for me. Right? We just finished, our Jewish brothers and sisters just finished celebrating Hanukkah, which is the festival of lights. And Hanukkah commemorates when, you see, the Greeks and the Assyrians had taken over the Holy Temple and had pushed the Jewish people out of the Holy Temple, and actually were trying to get them to do things that were against their spiritual laws. Have we felt sometimes that we have allowed ourselves to be pushed out of our Holy Temple? Have we allowed that to take place in our lives? But the Maccabees, see, they fought back, and the Maccabees were able to take the Holy Temple back, and to celebrate, they turned on the menorah, and they only had enough oil to last one day. And as we have probably heard, it lasted 8 days. But what I get from that story is that the Maccabees had to push themselves back into their holy temple. As the world around them was pushing them back, they had to say, no, I'm going to stand firm in knowing my truth. And the moment that they were able to center themselves, go into that inner sanctuary of their being, their holy temple, as I understand it, that's when that light was able to not only last for that what they thought would last for, but push even further. Go beyond what they thought was possible. And so how can we, in this moment, move back into center? How can we really own and just say, here I am, like this is my truth. Regardless of what's going on, regardless of who or what is trying to get me off of my center, I will be centered. And in those moments of being centered, I will trust the light to do what the light does. Because it is just about allowing that flow to take place in our lives. We have to claim our truth. We have to claim that we are the light. And we have to know that we are the living menorah, that our light can outshine any challenge or any difficulty that we may be experiencing and really trust it. Ephesians chapter 5, verse 8 says, "For once you were darkness, but now in the Lord you are light. Live as children of light." Live as children of light. We aren't just survivors, we are thrivers. When we look back on some of these experiences, we can see that that light has shone brightly and is pushing us and moving us into places that we may not even recognize right now, but are for our highest good. Just allowing ourselves to really let it flow. Let the light flow and really be in the joy of experiencing that light. And it really reminds me, when we say live as children of God, children of light, that it's also about the ways in which we are expressing it in our humanity, right? Because as we are living as children of light, we are in relationship to each other. And the second part of that Merriam-Williamson quote says, "As we let our own light shine, we consciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others." And so we are the living menorah. We are the living Christmas star. Because you see, just like that Christmas star is the ways in which the wise kings and the wise men were able to find that Christ being born, we have the opportunity to be that Christ star for other people. Through the ways in which we live, through the ways in which we love, through the ways in which we are here to support each other, we can be the ways in which others get to know God more fully and get to know that that same light is within them. Unity's been doing it, right? Faye mentioned just yesterday, we had our second farm share event where we gave more than 500 families in this instance the food. As we're even in this room, Angels Everywhere, and watching on Facebook Live and YouTube, Angels Everywhere has been supporting hundreds of children this holiday season. Not just because it's fun, it can bring joy, but because we know that there is light within us. And we know that we can't hide it under a bushel, that we have to express it. We have to share it. And one of the most beautiful things that we did for those, even yesterday when the cars were coming by because there was no contact, and so we just put things in the car, we had one of our volunteers just holding space. And as each car drove by, just saying a prayer. That's how we shine our light. So are we ready to own this great truth and this great responsibility? Just take a moment now. I'm going to invite you to speak this affirmation. I am light. Just take a moment to breathe in. And now just affirm with me. I am light. Together. I am light. I am the living menorah. Say it with me. I am the living menorah, pushing through what we thought was possible, pushing through what others may think was possible, and shining our light even more brightly expanding it and moving it into places where we did not think was possible. And now affirm with me, I am the Christmas star. Together, I am the Christmas star. Let us set an intention. One of the most beautiful things about this time, this convergence of all the things that are happening, is that it's a great opportunity to make an intention. Because it's not just about making the intention for the new year, but think about it. We are making an intention now at the same time that the sun will be shining more and more and more as we move through this period. Our light will expand more and more and more. So what is our intention with this Christmas holy light that we get to experience? How can we make it a part of not only who we are, but of the ways in which we are showing up in the world? The day that Christ was born is the moment that we can be born again into our truth. It is the moment where all humanity can be born again. It is the experience, it is the opportunity, it is the potential for a whole new shift to take place. And isn't that what the Christmas spirit is about? To remember, to come together and remember our truth and be able to be in joy and share that joy with others. After this year where so many people have felt restrictions, have felt confinement, this is really an opportunity for us to know it as renewal. So will you join me in experiencing this renewal? Will you join me in really feeling into this light and allowing that? You know, I went to Zoo Lights yesterday, and it was just amazing how everybody was so enthralled with all the lights that were around. People are attracted to the light. We are attracted to the light, and we ourselves can be the light that shines brightly in the world. So wherever we go, whatever we do, what are we going to affirm? I am. I know that Faye said there was just a handful of people in here, but we do need to make it a Unity on the Bay affirmation. So wherever we go, whatever we do, we affirm what? I am. Beautiful. Then we experience it, we live it, we accept it, we embody it, and that is the way in which the Christ spirit, the Christmas spirit, comes alive. And what a beautiful set of lights we are. Namaste.
That was fantastic. Reverend Juan, we are the Christmas star, right? You are the Christmas star. You're the Christmas star at home. You on the couch. You making coffee. I'll take mine black. You are the Christmas star. We are the Christmas star. Thank you so much, Reverend Juan. Exactly what I needed to hear. It's our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. Man, I'm walking away with that one. Steve, right? That one touched you too. Woo! And the flip the switch, that happened to me too. That flip the switch story that happened at Unity Village, that happened to me. I took the fan back to Target. It took me a year to figure out that it was the switch. That was wrong. Oh, God, what an incredible message. Reverend Juan, you always fill us with exactly what we need to hear. Thank you, thank you, thank you. For all of you at home, if there's something that you learned, make sure you put it down in the comment section. We want to hear from you. We are so blessed to belong to the spiritual family, to be spiritually fed every Sunday. Especially, we appreciate your giving during these challenging times. Our Sunday celebrations are the primary ways in which we are financially supported. We are continuing to be mindful and serve as good stewards of all we have and all we receive while we provide the necessary programming for you, our spiritual community. Your giving is made simple through text giving, or you can go to our website, unityonthebay.org. If you want to go via text, just text UOTB to 73256. That's UOTB to 73256. Set that up one time, and it makes your life a lot easier. We'll put all that information up on the screens for the people at home. And now, everyone in the room and at home, hold your gift to your heart, and we'll bless the gifts together. Divine love that I am blesses all that I give and all that I receive. Now, if you're watching us from home, it's time to bring the kids up. Bring the kids on up. Bring the kids on up. And everybody in the room, we're all going to bless these children together. So let's get these hands together. Rub, rub, rub. Children, we love you. We bless you. We appreciate you. We behold the Christ in you, and we see you doing great things. Love you, kids. If you're watching us for the first or second time, we want to get to know you better, so text NEW to 305-573-9191. That's NEW to 305-573-9191. And like I told you guys before, if you'd like for us to pray for you, we're going to put the link up on the screen for all you folks at home. Send your prayer intention our way. Each and every one is answered, I promise you. Now let us speak our prayer for protection.
The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Have an amazing week.
Do we play our song? Oh, no? Maybe?
No, that's kind of it. This is our first day with some new technology. We have, if you have noticed, we have 3 cameras in the room, 3 brand spanking new cameras. So it's, it's a new day. Hey, go ahead and play it. Yeah. Here we go. Yeah. Thank you.